What's up? Jack here with Dev Slopes, coming at you from the Dev Slopes Southern Command Center. Today in this lesson we're going to be covering JavaScript arrays. And arrays in JavaScript are very similar to other languages, but we're going to go ahead and go through the basics here. So what are arrays? Arrays are like a list. There are multiple values stored inside a single variable, and arrays are declared with square brackets. So let's go ahead and jump right in and take a look at some code. So an array is declared as so you could say let grades equal. So we've got our variable name, and then inside our curly braces we can put our list of grades. So 98, 84, let's just say, and then we end with a semicolon. Now this is an array. So we've got a variable called grades that's an array of numbers in this case. Now the index of an array is 0 based. So this first element in the array starts with 0. So this is grades sub 0, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So to access an array element, we could just say console.log, and then my template string I could put my first grade was, and then the way we access an element of our arrays, we put our variable name, and then in square brackets here we put the index. So the first one, like I said, it's 0 base, so this first one is going to be grades 0. So we've got grades and then our bracket and then 0. And then I can put a colon there. And let me go ahead and fire up NodeMon here. Now if I save it, you'll see here we get my first grade was 92. If we wanted to access the second element, which is 98, it would be element 1 because it goes 0, 1. So if I save that, you'll see here my first grade was 98. That should be my second grade, but you get the idea. Now then, you can mix and match types in an array. Not saying it's good practice to do that, but we could say let my stuff equal, and we could say baseball, football, 32, true, and magic mouse. So you can see here we've got 3 strings, a number, and a boolean inside this array, and that's perfectly legal. So moving on, to get the length of an array, there's a property that we can use, and we could say console.log, and then we put the name of our array dot length. And if I save that, you see we get over here 5. Now length is a property, obviously, because you've got the dot syntax and there's no parentheses. There are some array methods that we're going to take a look at now. So the first one we're going to look at is pop. And we'll just say let popped value equal my stuff dot pop. And with this being a method, we do need the parentheses. So I'll save that, and then we'll go ahead and console.log that. Save it, and you see over here we get magic mouse. So this popped value variable is now equal to magic mouse. What pop does is it takes the value on the end and pops it off of the stack or out of the array, and then returns that value. So if we console.log now my stuff, you see here we get baseball, football, 32, and true. So that's pop is a way to pull a value off of the end of the array. The next one we're going to look at is push. And it's kind of the opposite of pop. So here we could say my stuff dot push, and then we're going to pass in our popped value. And now if I console.log my stuff again and save it, you see here we get our magic mouse back in our array. So pop is a way to pull a value off the end and take it out of the array, and it also returns it so you can set it to a variable. Push pushes a value onto the end of the array. Now you can also push multiple values. So we could say, let's go ahead and console.log grades again, just so we could take a look. And you see here, here's our array of grades. Now we could say grades.push, and then we could add some more. We could say 79, 92, 84, and then we can console.log grades again, save it, and you see we push those values onto the end. So it can be more than one value that we push onto the end. Now then, the next method we're going to take a look at is shift. Pop and push operate on the end of the array. Shift and unshift operate at the beginning of the array. So we could say let shifted value equal my stuff dot shift. And then we can console.log shifted value, and we can go ahead and console.log my stuff again and save it. And you see here now we pulled baseball off the end, or off the beginning. So our shifted value variable is equal to baseball, and our array now no longer has baseball in it at the beginning. Same way with unshift, except we're doing the opposite. So we could say my stuff dot unshift, and then we could put our shifted value back on. Save it, and you see now our array once again has baseball on the front. The next method we're going to look at is concat. And concat is just short for concatenate. So let's go ahead and set up two arrays here. We'll just say let array 1 equal 1, 2, 3. And let array 2 equal 4, 5, 6. To use concat, we can say let concat array is equal to array1 dot concat, and then in the parentheses we pass in the next array we want to add to it. And now if I do console.log concat array and save it, you see here we get a new array with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in it. So we basically took those two arrays and joined them together. Now you can do multiple arrays with that. We could add a third array. We could say let array 3 equal 7, 8, and 9. And then here we could say let concat array 2 equal array 1 dot concat. And in parentheses we can pass in 2 more arrays. And then we can console.log concat array 2. And that should take all 3 of these arrays and piece them together. So if I save that, you see over here we get a new array with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in it. So that's how concat works. Pretty straightforward. Okay, the next we're going to look at is reverse. And it pretty much does what you would think it would. So we can just say let reversed array equal, and we'll just do our concat array 2 here, dot reverse. Save it, and you see over here I've got a console.log it. So if I do it, you see it just takes the array and reverses the order of the elements. So we've got a new array that is the same as concat array 2, but the elements are all reversed. Pretty straightforward stuff. Pretty straightforward. So let's move on. We'll look at sort. And sort kind of does, it does pretty much what you're expecting. We'll go ahead and create a new array. And we'll just create some states in this array. All right, so we've got our states array. Now then, we can do let sorted states array equal states array dot sort. And then console.log our sorted states array. And now that we've sorted them, we get alphabetical order: Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Mississippi, Missouri. So that's how sort works. Now, we can also pass in a custom sort function into sort to sort values the way we would like to. So we can say let numeric array, and we'll just put in some numeric values here. All right, and then we can say let sorted numeric array equal numeric array dot sort. And inside our parentheses, we can pass in a custom sort function. Now I'm going to pass in an es6 fat arrow function here. So we're going to pass in the parameters a and b, and then our fat arrow, and then we've just got the one return statement. So we're just going to say a minus b. And this would be the same as if we did, here I'll go ahead and just type out the regular es5 function here. So that's what it would look like with an es5 function. So if I pull up my browser here, we'll take a look at that custom sort function. And from the W3 schools here, we've got the parameter values. That's called the compare function, and it's optional. It's a function that defines an alternative sort order. The function should return a negative, 0, or positive value depending on the arguments. So this is identical to the sort function that I passed in. And when it compares the two values, it sends the values to the compare function and sorts the values according to the value returned, negative, 0, or positive. So example, if you're comparing a 40 and a 100, the sort method calls the compare function 40, 100. The value calculates 40 minus 100 and returns a negative value. So the sort function will then sort 40 as a lower value than 100. So it's pretty simple once you get your head around it. But this is the ES6 way or the ES5 way to do that. if we console.log that sorted numeric array and save it, you see here our array is indeed sorted numerically. And again, if I wanted to do this the es6 way, all I would have to do is just change this to A, B, and then the fat arrow, and then A minus B. If I save that, we should still get the same thing. So that was just the es6 and the es5 way of putting that sort function in there. So let's move on to the last one we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about slice. And let me copy a little bit of text here. Now slice allows you to pull out a part of an array. It takes two values, the start index and the end index. The method will return all values from the start index up to, but not including, the end index. So back to our states array, we could say let sliced states equal sorted states array dot slice. And then inside of our slice function, we could pass in two indexes. And just say we're going to pass in 2 and 5. So we're operating on the sorted states array. So if you'll remember, our sorted states array is printed over here. So we're going from element 2 up to 5. So we've got Alabama is 0, Arizona is 1, Arkansas is 2. So we should get 2, 3, 4, and then not including the 5th. So we should get Arkansas, California, Mississippi. So if I console.log that, and save it, you see here we get Arkansas, California, Mississippi. Now then, if you want to go up to the end of the array, you can leave off that second index. So we can just use our slice states variable over again. And we'll leave off the 5 index. And when we do that, it's just going to start at the index you pass in and go up to the end of the array. So if I save that, you see here we do get Arkansas, California, Mississippi, Missouri. Missouri being the last element in the array. So that's it on slice, and that's it on the array methods we're going to talk about. In the next lesson, we're going to cover some new es6 array helper methods that are pretty cool. There's quite a few of them we're going to go through real fast. So why don't you go ahead and jump on over and join me in the next lesson.